What if your life came down to one final walk and the only thing you had left was the people beside you? The Long Walk is the most devastating and moving film of 2025, and I can't stop thinking about it. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, my name is Troy. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to review The Long Walk, the latest film adaptation of a Stephen King novel. And this film absolutely blew me away, and it's hands down and easily my favorite film of 2025 thus far. There are just some films that will entertain you, others are going to haunt you. The Long Walk will absolutely break you and remind you of what truly matters in life. And I can't wait to keep talking about this movie because I can't stop thinking about it. It was a highly anticipated film of mine going into the fall, going into this award season, September and onward. I got to see the first 20 minutes of the movie or so at San Diego Comic-Con in July. And I knew then that this was going to be an all-timer, and I'm happy to say that the movie delivers and then some on so many fronts. Now, don't get me wrong, this movie is intense, it's harrowing, it's devastating. There are a lot of gruesome moments in it, especially when the characters unfortunately lose their lives when they get their ticket punched. They are brutal moments, but there are so many deeply moving messages in this movie, and I honestly didn't expect it. At the beginning of the movie, we meet our main cast of characters. There's Raymond Garrity, there's Peter McFreeze, Hank Olson, there is Stebbins, and there is Gary Barkovich, and then one more character who has a pretty big role is Arthur Baker. And so this is the main cast that we hang around, that they really highlight and spotlight. And the cast has such amazing chemistry. I need to give a specific shout out to David Jonsson in this movie. He is the standout. He is stellar. This is a career defining performance for him. He deserves every award nomination and then some that he gets because he's absolutely spectacular. He is the heart of this movie. He drives it. He is the victor at the end of this movie, and it was a devastating scene with him and Garrity at the end, and having that play out with who is going to win and seeing him fulfill Garrity's wish at the end of taking out the Major was incredibly moving. But he had so many great pieces of dialogue in this movie, specifically when there's a scene where him and Ray are kind of going back and forth, where Ray shares his plans about, hey, the Major killed my dad for these reasons, I'm going to kill him. We see him as Peter give this just amazing dialogue of like, hey, vengeance isn't enough. Like, you can't do this. That this isn't going to solve anything. And then the other standout for me is his performance when he shares with Ray as they're getting towards the end, his experience of having both his parents die and being brought up by an uncle who struggled with alcohol and being beaten, and sharing that story. That was so incredibly moving, and what he wanted to do with the money and just doing good and choosing love and doing all those really incredible things. He was incredible. I don't think this movie lands as great as it does emotionally if he's not playing this role, and he deserves, again, every piece of acclamation that he's going to get because he's absolutely incredible. Cooper Hoffman is also so fantastic in his role as Ray Garrity, and the chemistry that he has with Peter and the other characters, it lands so well. You can tell he's the one of the leaders of the group, and the gelling and the chemistry of the cast is so good that it makes it even more devastating when we start to see them killed off one by one, because you kind of go into this obviously knowing there could only be one of them making it. But when you see these characters start to develop a relationship with each other over the course of the film, it becomes even more heartbreaking when one of them doesn't make it, especially as they know those relationships are developing, and it's even hard for them to say goodbye to their friends in these moments. And so just bravo to this casting agent, to this casting director who found the people for these parts, because they are so good and they make the film what it is. Watching these kids grapple with their impending death was also just so intense, and a lot of them struggle, and we see a lot of them break mentally as they realize it's coming, and they just kind of run off and just accept it. We see other characters have a slow realization that it's coming and kind of become at peace with it. That's a big theme with Ray's character, as he comes to peace with the fact that, hey, he's probably going to die, and he becomes okay okay with that. And what I just love, the theme and the main message of this movie that I just love so much is this idea of thinking through what matters most at the end of their lives. They are confronted with this reality of this is it, and they reflect a lot about what matters most to them. And you ultimately see that friendship, that bonds, connections, love amongst each other, that's what matters most, and that's what they should be striving for in the midst of these struggles that are going on in the world around them. We think about Gary's arc in particular, who is the main kind of antagonist of the group. He's cold. He gets a kid killed by his actions early on, and we see him kind of be a threatening person, picking at people, antagonizing them. And we see as he gets to the end here, he feels left out, and he kind of shares how he's been an outsider for most of his life. He hasn't had a group of people to be with, and he just wants to belong. And they accept him, probably just to get him to stop talking. But when he finally feels a sense of belonging, he takes himself out. He takes himself out because he found that purpose of what he wanted for so long and just being accepted by people, and he ends his life on that note. And it really makes you think, again, if you are confronted with a situation and just reflecting on what matters most, what does that look like? Because they all think about the money and what they'll do with it, but by the end they realize that, hey, ultimately what matters most is the people that I have around me. I just think this movie succeeds on every level. The acting, the performances, the messaging, the intensity of it, the drama of it, the music, the score is so well done as well, as it really heightens those intense moments. I know one moment in particular that stands out is like when they are going through the night and they reach a steep hill, and half of the group does not make it up this hill because they are, several miles. I think they're on day 2 or 2.5 when they get to this point, and they're exhausted and they don't survive. Literally, they cannot make it up this hill and keep the pace, and so they're just picked off one by one. It's a very intense moment, and you feel it. And I think it's really relatable, and kind of picturing ourselves in that situation of like, oh my gosh, like I can relate to this. I can picture myself walking at this speed, and it really makes you think about what your experience would be like if you were in this situation. And so it really draws you into those moments. The Long Walk is just not a great film of 2025. It's one that I'm going to be thinking about for years to come. Those movies walking out of the theater where it just sticks with you and you can't stop thinking about it. That is The Long Walk. And so run to see this movie. Do not walk to the theaters. Run to the theaters to see The Long Walk. I think you will be walking away from that just blown away by storytelling and the performances of this cast. If you saw The Long Walk this weekend, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd be curious to know what you felt of the film. Did you walk away from it really feeling it like I did? Also, the book too. If you read the book and the comparisons, share those as well, as people kind of watch this and read that and would like to know what your thoughts were on the comparisons between the book and the film. But if you like this video, leave a like, guys. Subscribe for more content. Thanks for tuning in.